want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Take for their disease. Just like a weed, spread into the streets. Time to make them bleed. 'Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. Flip gods in the weekend, harmless. Take to the streets and turn them to a mosh pit. 'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back.
Nothing gets started like that hot pass from old James Trolson there.
Yeah, that's a great hit there, Mr.
No doubt.
Trolson, if you're watching. What's good, PA?
Same old here, you know. Just
Happy
me,
Thursday.
Me and Manny kicking it. That's what we do.
Look at you and me. Love it, dude.
Back
Such
there.
a good mask.
It's coming back.
Or is it a mask?
The world may never know.
I don't know. Happy Thursday, though. Welcome back, everybody, to Thursday Night Podcast.
The ADRL podcast.
That's right. We got Tuesday Night Podcast and our Thursday Night Podcast. And
It got confusing in my brain for a second. 'Cause
yeah.
Thursday night podcast for a brief moment in time there.
The ADRL Podcast on Thursday nights. Thank you for joining, everybody. I want to thank our sponsors, Renegade Racing Fuel. If you're not a Renegade, then you're not using fuel the right way with Renegade Racing Fuel. All right, Adam, come on, help me out.
Oh, you want my patent?
Yeah. Well, I mean, somehow you are able to just come up with these taglines. Renegade Racing Fuel, because if you're not using Renegade, you're not racing.
You don't like
hard
in the
enough.
inner circle?
I don't. Something. I'm not trying to cheapen the brand. Really good brand. We love Toby and Renegade Racing Fuel.
Yeah, I
Fuel
haven't
Tech.
got any ads for them. I've got my patented one on deck, ready to rock that I've prepped out.
Okay, well then let me start over. Okay, thanks everybody for joining into the ADRL podcast on Thursday night. I'm Dr. Fears.
Now, Prince Adam.
And this episode is brought to you by Renegade Racing Fuel, one of our proud sponsors. Also, Fuel Tech, and as well, Chris Duncan Race Cars.
That's correct. Chris Duncan, Amanda Hoover, great people. And I'll tell you what, it's a great thing out at a racetrack. You see a kid walking around with one of those broken belts signed by the driver.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be even cooler seeing a kid walking around with an unbroken Daco belt signed by the winner.
That is right.
You can get out to the track and everybody's going to have a good day at the track. But have yourself a Daco day.
That's right. Don't just have at the track. Don't just have a good day. Have a Daco day. I love it. I love it. Love it. Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate it. I find myself doing this. I don't know why I'm doing that. That's weird.
I don't either.
Guess stop doing that. And sometimes when I'm sitting here, I feel like my left shoulder's higher than my. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know. And then I find myself doing that. Anyways, so great week, man. Tuesday night podcast was fun. Last weekend was a good time. Frankly, it was so busy that I have no idea what I did during the weekend, and it's probably because I was trying not to do anything. Hence,
there he is. What's up, Mike?
Mike, what's good? Watching from Knoxville. Man, I just love that Mike. Does you think he's got that on some type of automated thing?
He just popped in 7:07 today. He was late.
Love that guy. He's on
late here. That's all.
That's right.
Everybody
so I'm sure. Sorry, what was that, Adam?
Everybody make it to your assigned seats. Gather in. Gather in. So October 25th and 26th, Rocket City Drags. And I now I find myself wanting to say Alabama International Dragway, which I know is not right. It's Rocket City Drags. Correct.
However, because I searched the one because I need to sometimes, I don't know, it messes me up. And I hope you're watching the flyers. If you're getting the flyers, I'm tagging everybody on them. Please share. And you don't have to comment, but feel free to. And I appreciate everybody that is commenting and sharing. It just helps us out. So if you are a racer or competitor, I challenge you to bring 3 other guys with you. Just think of three other guys you could bring with you to run in your class. That'd be great because I don't know them all. So
neither do I.
We don't know them all.
So Speedy in here.
What's good, dude?
Which just made me think of, and I know he's going to be talking about it on his podcast, so I'm not going to try to step on it too much or anything, but boy, have you seen the S storm that what was it, Cecil? God,
Cecil County Dragway?
I believe it's Cecil County Dragway. I could be off on
them and if you $50 for an oil slick?
Cedar Creek Dragway. Yeah, it was
the 50 down for an oil drips.
Oh, but then it was after that. I mean, that's just the start of it. That's if you drop oil at the starting line, but then every sequential feet beyond that, there's an additional charge that will be assessed to the driver. Which,
I mean, I couldn't tell by the pictures, but and no offense to the owner if you're watching or anybody that works there, but from the pictures, it looks kind of like a backwoods farm, unused piece of highway they're using as a drag strip. And
I doubt that they would ever say that, a pro mod car could make it down that track. I think it's one of those good old time, index bracket, no time, backwoodsy kind of tracks that's looking to try to make a rebirth or make a come up from just the recent stuff I've been reading, but definitely a harsh approach.
Maybe they're trying to mitigate the use of any. My farm looks.
What's up, John?
John, what's good, brother?
Oh God.
If you get a snort out of my laugh, then it's because my eyes water a little bit, and I get a snort, then that's good. John, appreciate you, brother. That's good stuff. I'm not knocking the track. I don't know anything about it, frankly. I mean, it could be bunch of friends that have a drag strip and they're trying to build it up and they've got limited equipment and they can't really afford the overhead or the resources it takes to deal with it or something. I don't know what's going on.
Motivation.
But, I mean,
I get the motivation behind it. A ballsy move. I will say that for a track owner to come out and make that drastic of an approach or stance on it is is definitely a flip of the switch.
I mean, I guess maybe he's trying to cater to a particular class of vehicle that's racing there, because it doesn't look like a high end track.
Yeah, I think he's trying to up the class of the cars that are racing there. Yeah,
Good for him. Hey, you know what, man? Props to you, bro, for having the balls to do something like that. I mean, it probably gets to a point where you've had enough. You draw a line in the sand, you're like, fuck it, or forget it. Sorry, Thursday night podcast. Oh, as Carter's thing pops up, great. Carter, earmuffs. Now we're just kidding. Would have been better to have them out. I can't read it at him.
Yeah, they have engine diapers on. Yeah, and
for sure.
I know that he's requiring that. So
Well, you know, Galen at XRP, they're full on the whole diaper thing. And you know what? That's probably something the track owner got 900,000 views. You know what? So there it is. No
infamous
bad
post.
Yeah, press is good press, right, Adam?
I guess to a level, and as long as you leverage and ride the wave correctly.
Yeah,
it's not always sometimes the best to. It's always good to try to make a change, but it's not always best to die on the hill or not be flexible within that change. Because I know that XRP, like you said, requires diapers. At the same time, I've been at XRP one time, and I've seen stuff. I've seen oil, liquid, other things on the track, even with cars with diapers. So it's one of those things that I think even with almost every degree of protection that you could put onto the car, it's almost impossible to say it could never happen.
Yeah, I mean, you could be in a badass pro mod making a hit and have to let off the throttle real fast and blow the engine or something, and
blow a hose, anything. Yeah, anything's possible.
And then that's kind of injury to insult at that point, right? Not only did you blow your car up, run it in the wall, now you're paying, however much,
$300 in a fee on top of it.
I have a feeling though, at that track, you're probably just going to end up in a field somewhere. So.
We'll see how things go. We'll see how
good for him, and I like that. I don't know, frankly, I don't know if that's something that we even really bring. I can't say personally that I've ever made it a specific point to talk about diapers. In general, I think that's just something the guys do or have. I could be completely ignorant about that, but we've not had, out of all of our races so far, we've not really had an issue with any of that. So
no, nothing outside of the norm.
No, right. And all the classes that run with us, they're pretty solid cars. I mean, there's not we don't have a bunch of shit boxes rolling. I think that's where
I think we definitely have an advantage there, to where we're not dealing with, a 15-second car or something like that, or me going out and buying an old Z28 and getting out there and trying to make something happen and blowing something up. So
yeah, right.
I get it, but
well, good. Well, I'm glad that they're making those. I'm glad they're making those calls. It's important, and when you draw a line in the sand, I would say just have that unwavering ability to stick with your decision, because once you veer from that, then anything's open for manipulation or to be tweaked, or however you want to word that. But
yeah, we shall see how this plays out.
But yeah, so October, again, I'll just reiterate again, October 25th and 26th at Rocket City Dragway. Rocket City Drags, ADRL's Rocket City Drags. We're going to have Pro Extreme, Pro Nitrous, Extreme Dragster. We'll also have 470, 450, and a couple junior classes. So it's going to be just a really awesome show. Plenty of cars. It's going to be a real full event. We're going to have a shit ton of spectators, and I'm really excited about it, man. The races are getting great. I feel like we're starting to get a little momentum, but it's taken a lot of hard work, a lot of support, and a lot of networking, especially being new on this side of the fence for us. It's
I think it's just like these racers. I mean, most racers don't jump into a Pro Extreme car their first car, so it's kind of our first car. So I don't know what
it just happens to be a Pro Extreme car.
Yeah, we had tune it down a little. Blow the tires off of it.
I think it's already slightly needed some work, but it's all good.
Yeah.
Mary Lane and Gmo. Gmo. Oh, I got it. Okay. God. I'm not good at reading license plates either, so it's okay.
Stopped at license. Left license plates out of it.
Yeah. We didn't have to say license plates. So what else? What else we got going on? Just a busy week, man. It seems like we're getting busier and busier as we're building up. I'm getting more and more excited. It's usually this 60 days out and less that are really start getting pretty excited about it. So we're 50 days out. So just keep swimming. Yes, sir. Oh, Corey Ford. What's up, brother? Good. I'm glad Corey's on here. Actually spoke with Corey earlier, but yeah, so we're just going to keep rocking and rolling, man, and hunting down sponsors. If anybody knows of a company that could potentially be interested in sponsoring an event, whether it's in market, at the event, in market, or for the season or for the points, whatever it is, I'm working diligently on my end to do that. But again, like I was saying earlier, it's I could be the lone wolf going after the prey. However, it's going to take. Will Sullivan is getting married Saturday.
Wish him well.
Wish him well. All right, Will, congratulations, man. That's right. I have been seeing some pictures of that. Man, Will's such a tall guy. Holy cow! What is he, like 6'3", 2"? I don't know. He's tall. Every time
and those people are tall to me.
And just he's such a nice guy, man. All of them, really, really nice folks.
Runs in the family.
Yeah, Prince Adam had a great conversation with. Man, I want to say something so bad, but I probably should just hold it back to myself. So I'm going to do that. But it's
err on the side of caution. Since I'm unaware of what's going on, I'm going to err on the side of caution.
It's a major. How would I would say major
breaking news
equipment company that is also prevalent on the NHRA side of things, and we may just have found my first major sponsor, not the ADRL's first major sponsor, but my first major sponsor. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I think he's talking about your reading.
Oh, really? I can't. I know. That's why Adam literally has to read it to me for sure. Yeah,
well, it helps. I don't have a camera that's blocking about half.
Yeah, that's the only thing that sucks, because literally it blocks like
that square.
A good third of that section there.
Yeah.
Yep. Anybody needs some merch? Please go get some merch. Help support the ADRL. Go get some killer merch, man. We got lots of it. Hotbananashop.com. Yeah. As a matter of fact, we had a whole shit ton of orders over the
Labor Day. We had that 15% off sale off all the orders. So hopefully everybody out there that was looking for a hat, hoodie, jacket, shirt took advantage of it, because that's where the savings were at. Another thing I want to start up for October with that new merch is a little hashtag for ADRL in the wild. So if you are out in the wild or at somewhere wearing your ADRL merch, or you're out somewhere and you see someone in their ADRL merch, snap a pic, pop it onto Facebook, make sure you tag us in there and hashtag us with the ADRL in the wild.
Yes, ADRL in the wild. I love that, Adam. Great job, buddy. We'll just remember marriage is a
We'll just remember marriage is a sentence, not a word. Congratulations. That's good old Uncle Steve out there.
Uncle Steve laying down the wisdom.
That's right.
Uncle Steve is a pretty wise cat, man. He's been around. You could tell just by talking to him. You could tell. All right. Well, it's about that time. So, as everybody knows, we have a special weekly guest. If you can't tell by the name or the picture,
before it gets blocked up by the PC scan, whatever.
Oh my God, I'm sure it's going to pop up. So yeah, we'll say yes, and we'll say this gentleman is the eldest NHRA certified dragster driver at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. Did I say that right?
I think I put it best in the
most senior.
He's the youngest, not old I've ever met.
Yeah, that's right. Mr. Dan Lucas.
Hey, guys.
Mr. Lucas, how are you, sir?
Oh, fine. And yourself?
Oh, no complaints. The weather's getting nice and getting even nicer up here in Missouri.
Well, good for you. I'm down in Tampa right now. It's flooding down here, man. Big time rain.
Oh, is it really raining down there right now?
Well, yeah, it's been thunder and lightning, but, we'll deal with it.
And the crowd goes wild, says Bruce Shuck.
That's my crew chief. Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah, Bruce, man. Love that guy.
Yeah.
So how's everything in Florida? So where are you at in Florida right now, Mr. Lucas?
Tampa.
Tampa. Okay, very
Yeah,
nice. You
that's,
actually just said that.
the Yingling Brewery over here. I've been doing engineering consulting for them for off and on, since 2009.
Oh wow.
So,
So what's that entail when you talk about engineering consulting? Is that part of the brewery when you're talking about the machinery and the just the plant itself and how it all works, the inner
yeah, updating and making changes and dealing mainly with the process piping systems and the pumping and the tanks and the brewing process and that sort of thing.
So needless to say, you probably get all the free Yingling you want.
Well, yeah, they're good to me. Yeah,
Oh,
Yingling is a very good family owned company.
I love it.
They're good people.
They
Yeah, I
seem
love.
like it. Good people, good product.
Yeah, good people,
Yeah.
good product. I love Yingling beer. Yeah, it's right up there with Budweiser for me. It used to be Budweiser for me, so now it's Yingling and then Stag and then Budweiser. Sorry, InBev.
Yeah,
We won't go down that rabbit hole, right?
No comments here.
Right. We're not going to go
Exactly.
down any rabbit holes there. So how's
USA.
USA? So how's everything in the drag racing world, Mr. Lucas?
Well, we're fine. We just like I really enjoyed going to a couple of meets that we've had with you, and like my crew chief said, we were trying to knock the rust off the car and the driver. It seems like this here lately has been more a rust on the driver than the car. But we're getting there, and we're anxious to get up to Huntsville, and we're anxious to see this organization move ahead at light speed.
Oh, amen. I appreciate that. I do genuinely appreciate that. And the support from you guys has been just absolutely awesome. What have you, so previous to this, Dan, had you ever run in the ADRL? Frankly, I'm not sure if the ADRL even ever had a dragster class, to be honest with you.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But of course, we knew about them. We knew about them when they went to South Georgia several years ago. And I mean, the place was packed. I mean, there was no there's no spectator parking available out on the highway, I think. But
I heard that was just chaos.
Yeah, but still, they ran the Pro Mods, and Pro Mods is a very unique and a very popular racing vehicle, which good for them,
Yeah, and it's getting a lot of traction, but so is this dragster class. I'm going to say at least a couple times a month there's somebody reaching out to me saying, "Hey, I've got this concept for this dragster. What are the rules? Because what I want to build, I can't run in the NHRA." And I tell them, or it's my pleasure to tell them, you build what you want, build whatever you want. It's got to be a dragster. No nitro, but build it and bring it. So I've had some guys talk about some twin turbos and some gentlemen talking about some alcohol nitrous motors and all these different setups. And I say, hey man, just build it and bring it. That's what it's all about. So we're getting some good traction. The word's getting out there, which is pretty good.
Well, back in the early days, if you could go back to the early rule book for Pro Comp and Top Alcohol, Dragster, and Funny Car, they had the alcohol cars, they had injected cars, they had twin engine cars, they had twin engine alcohol, twin engine blown cars. I mean, it was just kind of run what you brung, and all of a sudden things evolved and changed, and they don't have that anymore. So I think it makes it interesting when you can bring 3 or 4 different kinds of cars and stage them together and run to the other end,
For sure. It's almost the true essence of what drag racing was about originally, just build it, bring it, and run against somebody, see, let the best builder win, per se. I would love to see a twin engine pro mod or door slammer. Like I think that would be outside the specs of a chassis or whatever. I don't know how they could fit 2 motors on it. I think you could probably fit 2 motors on a dragster.
Well, yeah, I can remember the early days we had twin engine Pontiacs and Chryslers and small block Chevys, and the twin engine Chryslers and the Pontiacs. I mean, they looked like tanks. I mean, it was quite an impressive piece of equipment.
It's I remember reading a story in high school about, and I don't, and you would probably know better than I do. Somebody came out with a twin Hemi dragster. It was the first time he came out there. He had two Hemis, two 426 Hemis on this car, and just roasted the tires and the track so bad that they were like, dude, you can't come back. Like, you literally ruined the track after that pass. And I don't know who it was. I guess this is maybe I'd have to imagine, man, in the late 60s, early 70s.
Early 70s, ladies. No, I don't remember that particular situation, but those cars were impressive. I tell you what, the small block Chevy, a car on the West Coast, Bob Leverage up in Michigan is going to join us tonight. He could probably tell us more about it, but the freight train was a twin-engine small block, and that car really moved. It was a hell of a race car.
So it was a twin engine or two small block engines. Was it a door slammer or a dragster?
No, it was a dragster. I've never seen twin in a door slammer car. I've never have.
No,
I don't necessarily say that there's not one out there, but I've never seen one.
Yeah, twin engine rail. I got you. Yeah, no, the only twin engine door slammer I've ever seen, I think, is the twin mill Hot Wheel back in the day.
No,
the Hot Wheel. Yeah, the twin mill. Yeah. That's the only one I've ever seen, but not in real life. I'm sure somebody's gonna build one if they haven't already. I'm sure Gas Monkey has. But so how's your dragster doing? So I know you're consulting as an engineer, Dan. Do you still find that you have time to work on your dragster a little bit and kind of get things going? Have you had a chance to get it out and run it at all, or do any testing?
Well, we're working on it, and to tell you the truth, just like all my crew in our idle time, we're thinking race car. If we're not wrenching on it, we're thinking it. So
right.
No, it's just that to test, we could go and test, but we need a caliber track, because if you test and you're not on the caliber track, what have you learned?
Nothing. Right. Yeah, that's
so
the one.
You're wasting your money and your time and maybe hurting pieces.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And guys that don't have a lot of deep pockets, you have to be a little conservative in your approach to what you're doing. You love it, but you still have to draw that line in the sand and say, okay, let's be logical here.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Lindsay Ann, we ready? Let us know. All right, you got it.
Crew. Let me tell you about my crew. Their favorite time is when they can strap me in the car and get me out of the way.
The favorite part of the whole weekend is when you're strapped in your hot rod.
They'll come up to me and say, "Boss, we got this. Get out of the way."
But you probably can't help it. I mean, I wouldn't be able to help myself either. I mean, it's like you got your dragster. I mean, and you're an engineer by heart, by trade.
It's your butt that's sitting in it.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? But I mean, I guess that's why you have a crew, right? So you're like, all right.
And that's why you trust them, and they're going to do the right thing. And it's more of a joking attitude that they have toward me, because they think I'm so damn old,
Man, I wouldn't say you're that old, man. I mean, you don't have to tie an age to anything. I mean, when I first time I met you, I was like, damn, Dan's built like a brick shithouse. This guy is, holy cow. You know what I mean? And I remember you sharing me your age, and I just thought to myself, no way, man. Like, golly, like, you got it together, brother, for real. I mean, and you must be able to handle a 3,000 or 4,000 horsepower dragster.
Yeah, thank you for that. We enjoy it. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do at some point in time when you have to climb out. What am I going to do? That's the scary part.
Yeah, right. Well,
yeah.
Well, maybe then you kind of have what's good, Russ? Glover.
Russ Glover there. He's a jet. He drives one of those jet cars, man. He's a kamikaze pilot.
Yeah, is Russ the individual? Is Russ the guy that we met in? Did I meet him? Is he from Pennsylvania or from the Northeast?
No, he lives down in the Florida Panhandle.
Well, there's the boss checking in.
There she is. Hi, Miss Brianna.
Oh,
she was talking about Dan. Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that's John's daughter. She's a sweetheart.
Oh, she's so cool,
I've
man.
known her since she was 3 years old. Just
Really?
she's a good
Yeah.
kid. Yeah, oh yeah.
She's so easy to talk to, right? It's like, and she's so down to earth. She's one of the few. Let me rephrase that. She's cool to hang out with and just talk because she's so down to earth. You're just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good girl. Good
Yeah,
girl.
for sure.
Good family.
That's Mr. 360. So,
There you go.
oh,
There you go. You're out fishing for compliments
okay.
and you caught
I think
one.
I'm blushing a little bit now. My face is turning red. Oh boy. So, have you made any changes to the dragster? Are you running what you did in Montgomery? Are you going to make any changes to it?
We're obviously we got to step up. Obviously. So we're doing some things that. But the thing about it is, you know yourself, if you change two things and the car slows down, which one necessarily is the right one, which one's the wrong one.
Oh,
Yep.
I know that's so tough.
Maddening.
one at a time
Right.
type deal. So
Yeah.
we're gonna make a change or two and see how it goes. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Don't
And-
want any of the secret sauce. I get it.
Well,
But that makes
it's just like your pro mod guys. They can't change two or three things.
No.
If you're smart, you change one thing. If you go out there, if you slows down, say, "Oh crap, that wasn't right. Let's go back and do this."
that's
Mhm.
right.
You got to work off a baseline.
Well, and even that one thing that you changed that may not have worked out can still be changed in other ways. So you're like not even finished with that one thing yet, right? So it's like you can adjust this one thing, go out and may not have worked great. And then you come back and then you kind of tweak that one thing the other way or whichever way, right? And then you're like, okay, we made some gains. Let's move on to B and see.
You're right.
what
You
that
got
does,
it exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then throw in the
with us,
variables
we
of the
run
track.
We run a clutch car, so
Yeah.
sometimes you can put a gram of weight on each finger, just a gram on each finger of the clutch is six grams. It can make a change.
Stop
So-
dropping your shoulder. Who's she talking to?
Hard criticism. Stop dropping your shoulder. LOL.
Yeah. Is she talking about me or Dan? I know. I feel like I have a shoulder thing happening. But you're right. I mean, it's crazy that just one. Now there's four. Wait, how many? 4 or 5 fingers on the clutch?
6.
Oh, there's 6. Okay, and so yeah, 1 gram per finger could make that big of a difference, huh?
Yes.
Ah, gotcha.
Okay. What she's talking about is I've been having trouble dropping my left shoulder when I shift from first to second. I'm having a hard time steering the car because I'm dropping my shoulder and it's moving the steering wheel. That's one of my crew members
Okay.
being nice to me.
Oh, I see. So when you're going to shift, you're dropping your shoulder a little bit, and it's maybe pulling you a little bit to the left.
On the wheel, yeah. I did it at South Georgia. That's why I got over close to the center line.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I was saying we're still knocking the rust off the driver.
But it's pretty tight in there, so I can understand where something like that could impact everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no room to criticize anything. I mean, the fact that you could even shift a gear going that fast with that much horsepower is pretty awesome. I would have no room to criticize anybody on anything until I'm sure once you're, I don't know. I just think it takes one big giant set to be able to do that. How much horsepower is your dragster?
Oh, down close to sea level, I'd say, we run just a 464 cubic inch a motor, which is NHRA legal.
Gotcha.
And I would say we're approaching 4,000, maybe 3,600, 3,800 in that range.
All right. So with your motors, which is I would say they're probably the same motors that you could use in a Pro Mod, right? So Pro Mod motor, maybe there is a little bit of difference, but I'd imagine a lot of folks either use big block Chevys or a Hemi of some sort.
Right.
However, when you're after, how many hits before you have to actually, do you break it down after every pass that you make? You go back and pull the heads and everything, or just the valve covers and make sure?
Between rounds, my guys pull the pans. We change the rod bearings. We pull the transmission, the bell housing. My clutch guys, Jay Weems, goes in there and puts a new set of discs in and resets it. Bruce pulls the valve covers, or I do, depending on what we're doing, and goes through and readjusts the valves. We don't pull the heads unless we do a leak down at the end of the evening and we got a cylinder that's down, then we'll pull a head.
Oh, gotcha.
We won't pull the heads except between races unless the motor's telling me I'm hurt.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I'm, with you guys running full out, right? Not nitro, but these blown alcohol motors. I was wondering in my mind how often you guys have to tear into it, and what you're saying, it's between rounds. And then you look at like the 450 and the 460 index guys who pretty much have the same motor. They just don't have them tuned up to where you guys have them, and they're saying they can get, 50, 100 passes out of them before they have to really worry about anything and start tearing into them too much. But you guys pretty much have to make not have to, but I guess you're just checking things out. Is that just kind of a precautionary thing?
Well, we don't tune the motor with the spark plugs. We tune the motor with the bearings. Okay, when you start beating the bearing out, that means that hole is too lean, and maybe you need to fatten that hole up. But if you got 3 or 4 of your rod bearings that are getting beat out, that's telling you the motor is too lean. You got to fatten this sucker up.
Oh, okay. I see.
And so what we do is, to save time, Bruce and them will just put a whole new set of top bearings in. We won't even look at them until they get the oil pan back on. Then we'll mic the bearing to see if it's beat out or not. If it's not beat out, we'll clean it up, put it back in the tray, and use it the next round. But if it's beat out 2 or 4 thousandths, then Bruce will say, this hole's lean. We need to do something here.
That's appreciate that. Yeah, that's great. That's learn something every day. So that's how you're not tuning to plugs, you're tuning to your bearings.
Right. And your pro mod guys will do that too.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
So that's just one of the things that's evolved with these motors, because they're making the horsepower, and that bearing can be just one hit of the spark plug and can go lean somewhere on the track. It doesn't mean it's lean from the start line to the finish line. It means somewhere in there you got a fuel issue, or either you're too lean on the motor. The fuel system is too lean.
Mm-hmm.
It could be, but you don't know where, so you just change the bearing, you fatten it up, and go back again. And next time you take a look and see okay, we cleaned it up. Let's leave everything like it is.
Mm-hmm. So with your crew, is a crew more or less being more efficient to address the things you need to in between rounds, or is a crew, and it may be twofold, or is a crew for individuals specialized in a certain thing that go through that, whether it's clutch and bell housing, and another guy's a head guy and the other guy's a suspension or chassis guy, or is everybody pretty much capable to do all of it? I mean, how does that work with the crew? What's delegated? How is that delegated?
Okay, my guys pretty much could do all of it, but you need 2 people on the bottom end. You need 1 or 2 on the clutch. So they become dedicated through necessity to do a particular job. That doesn't mean that the bottom end guy can't do the clutch.
Gotcha.
But you can't, in order to have some semblance of control, guys, when we roll up in the pits, jack the car up, the guy that does the bottom end, he knows that's where he's going.
Mm-hmm.
You follow me?
Yes, sir.
That's his task. And then the guy that does the transmission, the same thing, or the girls help me unroll the parachutes and start packing them. That's what they do. So it's a assigned task. And if you don't do that, then it's a Chinese fire drill.
Sure. Yeah. Then everybody's just running around, switching spots and not sure. Yeah. That makes total sense. Now, is that something throughout the season, everybody kind of knows their role, or is this a race to race?
Oh, no.
Kind of deal? These
guys have been with me 7 or 8 years. They do the same thing every race.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. That makes sense.
When we're at John's in the shop, we help each other. But when you're on the clock and you're in a hurry, you don't start mixing tasks. In fact, we have toolboxes, tool trays. That's for the bottom end, tool tray for the clutch. You don't jack around with somebody else's toolbox at the race.
Oh, I gotcha. So I'm getting a better, I'm having a clearer and better understanding of how the pit is set up and what and who's doing what and how that all works. Which it has to be orchestrated properly, or you wouldn't be able to effectively or efficiently do it within the time that you need to. What do you feel is, Mr. Lucas, what do you feel is the appropriate amount of time between rounds for a dragster or a pro mod to kind of get what they need done?
We can get it done and cool the motor in 75 to 90 minutes.
Okay. All right. So an hour and a half. So a nice, comfortable time in between rounds for you guys. Hour and a half is like, you guys are good.
Yeah. And same for a pro mod too. And of course, I think that some of the pro mod guys online that are watching tonight could probably contribute and help with the conversation, because I've never wrenched on a pro mod. So, you know, they're a different animal.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So, I mean, I know they're shaped differently. I don't really know. Yeah, they might need to be, there's other things they might have to do that maybe you may not have to do, or things you may have to do that they don't have to do. I'm not
right.
Really, gotcha. Yeah,
exactly. And some of the cars with the automatics, you got to help me here now. I've never run an automatic. So obviously those things you don't touch, but as far as the motor, pardon my English, don't give a damn what kind of car it's in. It's going to run.
Right.
So you got a certain amount of maintenance you've got to do. I don't care what it's in.
Yeah.
You know, so
sure.
I would think that some of their task is the same as we have. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. No, that makes sense. It might just be a little different here. Obviously, they have like front suspension, so they're probably checking their sensors on their front shocks, or whatever. There might be some other things, but yeah, I was curious because I learned a lesson, and you go through this in my side, and there's a lot that you don't know, and the last thing that I would ever want to do is hot lap the racers, and so as I go along, it's getting a good understanding of how much time folks need in between rounds without having guys sitting around all day long between rounds. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's about, let's go. Let's make it a condensed race. We'll do some qualifying on Friday, some test and tune and qualifying on Friday, and then let's race on Saturday. And let's have a good pack-filled day of racing. It's efficient, it's effective, it's a smooth event, it's full for the racers, and you can't do anything about oil downs and accidents and stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But, having a good, efficient, effective race that's just nice and smooth. And so for me, it's starting to hone down how much time do the door slammers and the dragsters need in between rounds, and then fitting in the other classes. And anyways, I digress. Start early Saturday. Yes, we will be starting early on Saturday for sure.
Yeah, probably some of the pro mods would come online here and help us with this, because I know that when I don't have time to go in and make a clutch change properly, the next round I'm going to shake my eyeballs out, because the clutch is too hot, and you've got to take those hot discs out and change them. Of course, with a pro mod with an automatic, you don't deal with that.
So are you saying hot? Are you saying that hot clutch discs prevent you from getting the traction you need? So then you end up, so there's too much slippage, and then you end up.
No, that when they're hot, when they're so hot they expand, and you lose all your tolerance within the slider clutch, and it's kind of locking up. And when you do that, it pulls the motor down. And when you pull the motor down, the fuel goes in the motor, and then your fuel system changes. And then usually along in here, you start tire shake. And it's usually because of the clutch. The clutch and the motor has to stay ahead of the clutch. And when
Well,
the
that's
clutch
a whole.
heats up and they get too close together, then they don't like each other anymore.
That's interesting. So that's a whole different beast than what I'm familiar with the Pro Mod and tire shake, because and in my mind, and again, I'm not a racer or been on a crew or anything, but I can sort of understand things. I feel like what I've come to understand is that shaking the tires comes from not enough wheel speed on a Pro Mod, if I'm not mistaken.
That's one possibility too. Now,
Yeah.
or the motor's too lean and you're down on horsepower, it's going to shake.
Yeah, right. Because not enough wheel speed, or out of the hole, there's not enough wheel speed. But with the dragster, you're saying that shit, it could start from the clutches being too hot, which then pulls the motor, then the fuel, and then causes it to.
It's a multitude of things. And
Yeah.
I think probably your clutch Pro Mods would experience some of that same thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, anytime you got a pedal clutch, you got this element in there. And maybe I'm not explaining it to the point that everybody out there is grasping. That's why I said maybe a Pro Mod that's on the line here could come in and contribute a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know if we have any Pro Mod guys running clutches and manual transmissions. I mean, I can't think of anybody.
Okay.
Adam, can you think of?
Did we lose you?
I'm not sure what happened. Everything kind of shut down on my side, and then then it let me right back in. So I'm not positive. I'm hoping Ryan coming right back in as well.
Well, I can still see y'all. Everything's good on this end, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I'm not sure what or where the hiccup came on that one, but we are back. That part's for sure. So no, I was saying before everything got lost. I know
No idea what happened. That was bizarre.
Yeah, I was saying I know John Sullivan was in here, but he only drives the car. I don't know if he would even know things like this to be able to answer it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, I think Kevin Reed out of R&R Speed Shop in Huntsville, unless he's changed, I think he was the clutch car, but he hasn't run with us. I think he was going to run in Huntsville, but I believe he had an issue with the car last time out and tagged the wall, so I don't know if he's going to be able to go with us or not. But he shook. And that's what caused him to tag the wall. He had tire shake. So whether it's clutch or not, I'm not sure.
Did you read Steve's comment?
Let's
It's
see.
always
It's always great listening to someone that's forgotten more about drag racing than you ever knew. Mr. Lucas, thank you for all you have done for the sport over the years.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the compliments. Appreciate it. Dave, come up to me sometime and I'll buy you a beer. I owe you one.
So I guess Batman runs a clutch. Who did I say? Batman.
Big Money.
Big Money? Oh,
I know
okay.
he was getting ready to make the switch, but
That's right. He did
he's,
mention that. He was
he's still
talking about maybe switching it up. Little John. Bill is still manual. Yeah, he's still manual. Yeah, it's great. You know what's awesome is like when I went to that race in Steel last week or the weekend before last. It's like everybody supports each other. So Bill Clanton's there and his son and of course, and then it's the Sullivan crew and everybody else is hanging out there and and they're just coming to hang out with the guys. It's like, what are we going to do this weekend? Oh, let's go to the races. And even if we're not racing, let's go hang out with the guys in the pits. It's so cool to hang out. It's like a giant family. It's pretty awesome.
Yep, sure is.
Yes, sir.
And I'll say this real quick, and you can appreciate this. All my years in engineering, but when I get home at night, I don't call somebody I work with. I call a racer.
That's right.
Because they're family. And the other guys are maybe acquaintances, but that's not where my heart is.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, in my previous life as a musician, it was the same way, right? When you're writing music, it's like I'm not going home and calling guys I work with. I'm calling guys in the band, or I'm going to somebody's house to write music or go jam or whatever it is, right? So it's the same thing. It's your passion for your hobby. Like You just work because you have to.
Yeah, you know, they say drag racers love work and hate money.
Love working and hate money. I feel that that's probably the same way with a few hobbies. I would imagine. So you've been at this. Well, I'm not going to ask you, but
That's okay. Shoot.
so what is your number on your license?
My original number, 1972, Buster Couch assigned it. It was 2D Division 2, 005. I was the fifth guy in Division 2 to get comp license. And then Pro Comp came along. That was before they split the top alcohol and funny car in 75. And my permanent number was TAD 267 that I still hold.
No, that's great. So that's awesome. And that is the number that's on your dragster, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was hoping that Bob, Leverage, or Hal Canode, or Lou Novotny, guys that started racing before me, would be online tonight. I told them we were going to be talking that day, but apparently I haven't heard from them. But those guys go back in the beginning also. In fact, Lou Novotny was he worked with Lakewood Bellhouses, and they were the first ones to start experimenting with a slider clutch.
So explain that. What kind of clutch is that? How does that work?
Well, it's a multi-disc clutch. We run one now.
Oh, okay. So it's just your standard multi-plate or multi-disc clutch.
Right, except it evolved. They're the ones that started working with it, and
really?
Of course, it evolved with what it is today. So it's some of the things in drag racing that you'll find in time. It gradually evolved. One thing created another situation, and that situation created the results.
Right.
And like from the cast iron blocks, you couldn't put a lot of blower, to the aluminum blocks, you could put a lot of blower. Then you built bigger blowers, but then you needed a lot of MSD came in. They are the most, to me, was the most significant change in the evolution of race car motors was that magneto. Because now you went from 5 amps to 44 amps.
Yeah.
Anything you can put in that cylinder, it's going to fire it.
Mm-hmm.
That's horsepower.
Gotcha.
And then all these things evolved, you know. It's kind of interesting. You can go back if you have time and start looking at how things evolved from the 60s to now. It's amazing.
Yeah. So the magneto, Dan, how is a magneto different than a distributor?
Well, a magneto, they first were in tractors, okay? I mean, you create your own, it turns, it has a generator. It creates its own electricity for simplicity within the unit.
Gotcha.
So you don't need a battery. You don't need a coil. Of course, MSD runs a coil, but then it produces enough fire to fire the spark plug with the cylinder pressure that we're dealing with now. You know, in the early days, some cars had 140 pounds of pressure in the cylinder or something like that. Now we're over 300 and 400 pounds of pressure. So you got to have something that can jump the gap on that spark plug and light that fuel in the hole. And that MSD that MSD turned the world around to me.
Imagine the first few guys that got to experiment with one and put them on their car, and they were like, "Holy cow, this is amazing!" You know,
right? I mean,
give it more fuel.
That's right, because now you put more fuel in the motor, you put a bigger blower in the motor, you know you're going to fire it in the hole, you're going to make more horsepower.
Yeah, for sure.
That one really sets off a good chain of events and technology and advancing all around, yeah.
I was hoping somebody online here would throw in and help us a little bit. But yeah, the 44 amp, you have to be careful when you're playing with it, because if you get shot with a 44 amp, you could have a heart attack from it.
Oh yeah, just go right through you.
It's serious. It's serious.
88 gigawatts. Oh, Nick raved. That's funny. Gigawatts. Oh, and I'd imagine dragsters. I mean, I've seen the evolution. just following drag racing. I've got a friend of mine that's got he bought an old famous, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's the old over the rear end dragster. I don't know.
Yeah, a front engine car.
Yeah, front engine car where the cage is over the rear act or over the rear differential. And you can kind of see the evolution of dragsters just from a chassis standpoint. Have dragsters changed much from an evolution standpoint in the past 20 years? I mean, they kind of look the same, but I don't know if you can evolve much more from where they're at now.
Oh, you take somebody like Hal Canode, he has a chassis up in Indiana. He could elaborate more than I can, but it's sure you visually you look at it, but the tubing has changed, the way the uprights are positioned, the way the chassis is built behind the motor plate. There's changes made that maybe even me or you wouldn't see, but they see it. The chassis builders, Hal and Murph, and these guys that do it for a living.
Mm-hmm.
They see things that you and I wouldn't see.
Yeah, for them, every day is R&D, right? It's like
yes, oh yeah.
That's every day. Like, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this. You know, which that makes sense. Yeah, it's really cool to see the evolution of racing. I mean, even in the short period of time that I've kind of been involved and been following it, I'm even seeing, you know, so people have the magneto, but what do you call that now? Where they have them mounted, and you're a dragster guy, so you may not know, but you see them mounting coil packs on the firewall where it's not necessarily and maybe they're using a magneto, but I forgot what you call it. I don't know, but it's sort of like the evolution of
well, no, it's part of development, technology and development. Sure, we don't use that, but obviously the people that are using it have found it to be successful. Good. Yeah. So they go for it.
Yeah.
And hats off to them.
Yeah, for sure.
It may advance the technology in that particular area to then be utilized by yourself or others and kind of trickle down or trickle around. Yeah,
it's amazing. You know, when you sit back and look at things, even me being in the business for as long as I have, I sometimes I shake my head. Wow, that's really cool. You know.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and it's kind of like Luis and Fuel Tech. What's that say? Pros.
Yeah, James has got some stuff on it that I don't have in my car.
Oh, individual quad. Yeah. That's right.
So you got people there that can talk about that I just look at and say, okay, I'm kind of like you. Okay, what the hell is that? You know?
Oh, it looks like Mr. Evans is headed out to XRP.
Yes, he is. Go see some racing this weekend. See what's going down.
ADRL for life, Steve. Much love, Uncle Steve. Love that guy.
I was in town, I'd come up for breakfast for sure.
For sure. You know, I've been watching ever since I met Luis at and I forgot where I met Luis. I met Luis at a race earlier this year. Luis and Fuel Tech. And we were just kind of talking, and he kind of explained to me his role at Fuel Tech. And so I'd start following their page and their YouTube video, and I like watching their dyno tests and all the different stuff that they're doing. And you see kind of how have now, because, you know, twin turbos have always been able to put out a ton of power, but the screw blowers have always managed to kind of outdo the turbos. And this is just me kind of in my basic thought and understanding over my life of cars. You know, the screw blowers, the roots blowers, and then into the screw blowers, you can't really beat a screw blown alcohol engine. And then you got guys trying these twin turbos, and, you know, there's so much potential with the turbos. And I think that there was just a hiccup, or there was just one part of it you couldn't tweak. But with all the R&D Fuel Tech's doing, they had a guy on there probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago who had a twin turbo car. And they've developed a part of it that fixed or answered whatever these existing issue has been trying to solve, but they've solved it or are getting better at solving it. And this car put out, what was it, Adam? 5,300 or 5,400 horsepower on this twin turbo Hemi car. And it was a twin turbo car, and I've never seen that kind of horsepower out of a out of a looked like a pro mod. I guess it basically is a pro mod, a twin turbo pro mod, and it was all because of the R&D and the evolution and them constantly working on trying to fix it. And then they tweaked it, and then boom, tweaking and blowing in the same sense.
Well, you know, I think in the very beginning there was a lag with the turbos where your PSI screw blows, you don't have that lag, okay,
Right.
when you swap feet. But as you said, technology and development, they're getting in and they're solving this problem.
That's
Good
right.
for them. Good for them.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we want to be a viable part of the marketplace and be in that top field. They have to. So yeah, it's benefit to them.
And you know, while we're talking about that, somebody just mentioned Appalachian. I just sparked my mind. Prayers to anybody in Georgia at the high school. If you know anybody at the high school or in that area where that shooting happened, I don't want to give it a whole lot of attention because I think that's why kids are doing this dumb shit, because it gets attention. But prayers out to all the families and the kids that were involved in that there in Georgia. I think it was Appalachia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But anyway, so sort of throw that out there real quick. But yeah, R&D is. Oh, did you, Lindsay? Oh, okay, right on. Yeah, hate to hear that. Hope. Yeah. Tried a turbo on a top alcohol. Dan Lucas, have they tried a turbo on a top alcohol dragster?
Years ago, boy, gosh, I can't call his name right now, from Crane Cams, and down in Miami they tried one, but that was a long time ago. When the development is such now, to be blunt, I can't answer that question. I don't know of anyone trying one right now, but I'm sure there's somebody out there who's got something going on in their shop. You know.
Oh yeah, I've actually gotten that phone call, and I've gotten the phone call and a video of somebody sent me a twin turbo. What was it? A Hemi? I can't remember. What's Trolson runs? Trolson's running a blower. Is his a screw or
No. His
root
is a
blower.
screw. His is a Whipple.
Oh, Whipple.
It's a earlier type. It's a different type than the PSI, but it's the same thing.
That's right, because I actually met the gentleman that helped tweak or build that Whipple supercharger. Gosh, I can't believe I forgot his name again already. Feel horrible. Next time I meet him, I've got to make sure I get his name remembered. Who is the Whipple wizard that has been rebuilding Whipple superchargers forever? I met him with Rocky down there in Steel. I'm sure someone else knows. Rocky, and he's got his wife that was a dragster driver as well. But a friend of theirs is a Whipple supercharger builder, and he's known all around the world for building Whipple superchargers. And I think that he said or mentioned that he had worked on or given some input or something for their superchargers. So yeah. Nope, Lindsay.
I'd like to say there's my wife making a comment.
Yeah, Lindsay's trying to get you to go over to turbos.
Yeah, we've been talking about race cars and the team and all, but she is so valuable, and her support for my team and for my crew. Without her, we wouldn't be out there. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. Wives are so valuable when you come to this sport, man.
Oh, amen. Amen. And that's even not even from a racer standpoint, but even from an owner and a promoter standpoint. You know, I mean, yeah, if it wasn't for my wife, I don't know how in the world I'd be able to do this. Like, she's, you know, I got the kids, you do your thing. You know, I want to come to the race, but I'll take care of the kids. Don't worry about me and the kids. You do your thing. Or, hey, babe, I'm going out of town to the races this weekend. Oh, have a good time. You know, I'll see you when you get back. And just, you know, all the feedback and the brainstorming, somebody you can sit down with and talk and run ideas past and get some true, genuine feedback, unbiased feedback. You know, it's great. So to your point, yes, God bless wives. Good wives, I should say.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right, Mr. Lucas.
Some of us can pull it off single, but you know,
yeah, some could pull it off single. I don't know if I could be single, about man. That. Geez, yeah.
It's not the most fun, but hey, you get used to it.
Yeah, well, but you get to visit all the different restaurants, so it's all right.
Yep. There you go.
Galetta Wind 570s alcohol dragster twin turbo. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty
cool. They're out there, you know. It's just like the A fuel cars. In the beginning, back when they were struggling to find their way, then all of a sudden they were able to come up with a combination and research and technical input, so forth. Now all of a sudden they're holding naps. Okay.
Yeah.
These ain't fuel cars, these unblown fuel cars.
Yeah.
They went from couldn't qualify to running 520s.
Yeah.
So
Man, that's fast. That's real fast.
they are something to watch. And believe me, I've had them go by me. I know that's something to watch.
Dan, do you know any Top Fuel guys that aren't necessarily participating in the NHRA or anything at the moment that would maybe be interested in coming and doing an exhibition at Huntsville? If so, I don't need an answer now, but if you think of somebody, let me know. I'd like to get a few of them out there just for the spectator excitement. I know it's not cheap to run one down the track, and it probably costs an engine tear down after every pass, but it would still be pretty neat to see one.
Well, if Bob Leverich is online, Bob, say something. No, I told Bob if he had a chance to come online with us tonight, but apparently he's not here for some reason. But Bob and them have a fuel car.
Okay. All right.
In fact, Joe Morrison got his license in Bob's fuel car.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. How about that?
You had Joe on 2 or 3 weeks ago, didn't you?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he might have mentioned that, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I think we talked about it briefly.
Yeah.
So DCS says, Dan, tell him about the attempt to run a alter fuel funny car.
We don't listen.
I had a feeling that this might be a good one, so I was gonna
Dan's laughs.
Sometimes lack of intelligence needs to be passed on to another day.
Understandable.
Come on, you got to tell us. Now I got to know. Dan. Tell us the story.
Well, no, we don't want to talk about that tonight.
Okay. Fair enough. It was the second ask. We'll be good with that.
That'll give us something to talk about in Huntsville.
Yeah. Maybe we were hanging out in the pits doing a little bench racing, having a couple of beers.
Yeah. Maybe we can get somebody, a good friend of mine, to tell the story, and I'll listen.
All right, fair enough. Well, I think we're about that time, Prince Adam. So, Dan, hey,
one last question.
Oh yes. Wait, we've already done the in the groove, haven't we? With Mr. Lucas? I don't know. We'll ask again.
We might have.
Okay. Dan, when you're in the pits, I don't know how well this is a segment we call In the Groove. I like to do with everybody. Now we've got to figure out who we've done it with or who we haven't. However, when you're in the pits and you're listening, you may or may not be listening to music, but if you are listening to some music to kind of get you going, what are you listening to? What are some of your favorite bands you like to stick in and listen to, and it kind of eases your mind and gets you ready for some racing?
Well, mainly in the shop, okay? My guys, we listen to all my guys, even though they're much younger than me. Maybe they're being nice to me, but we listen to early rock and roll.
Amen.
We listen to Dr. Hook, the Traveling Wilburys.
Oh, nice.
The band, Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
And Allman Brothers.
Oh, you can't beat the Allman Brothers and the Doobie Brothers and all those guys.
We listen to that kind of music. I don't think, and nothing against it when I say this, but I don't know if any of my guys are really into much heavy metal. I used to listen to years ago Johnny and Edgar Winters. I don't know.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Edgar Winter Band. Yeah.
Yeah, and I listen to them. Of course, you got to remember, I'll be quick. I came up as a teenager, when Bill Haley and the Comets and the Big Bopper and all of them were first coming on the scene. So I remember them, and I remember the Cordettes and the Honey Drippers and the Tams and the Motown sound.
That's
so
man. That's awesome.
Kind of like drag racing. I saw music evolve. I remember the old heavy 4/4 count blues guys out of Beale Street in Memphis. You know.
Oh, that's
John
good
Lee
stuff.
Hooker and Jimmy Reed and Lightning Slim.
Mm.
So I listen to those music, and I was in a band in high school and college. My music background is more regimented, but still, music is music.
What
And you
Amen.
know that.
Yeah.
So I listened to up until what we just talked about, man. That's my scope of music, and my guys tend to let me listen to that, and they seem to enjoy it. I don't hear them telling me to turn that down or let's listen to something else. So that's kind of where we are.
Oh, that's
You
great.
said you were in band?
I played in high school in a marching band, and in Auburn University, I played in a marching band. Yeah.
Same here. What instrument you play?
A marching season, a trumpet, and in winter and concert, I play French horn.
Nice. Okay. I was tuba and marching and concert and trumpet and jazz band.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, when I was in a folk group, I played a washtub bass.
There you go.
Oh, that's
I play
awesome.
bass guitar as well.
Yeah.
A
That was-
washtub bass. That's awesome. In a folk band, in a folk group.
Yeah, back you got to remember when I was in colleges, Buffy St. Marie and Joan Baez and Bob Dylan and that bunch,
Yeah.
Peter, Paul, and Mary. So
Oh, that was great, Dan. What? Okay. I'm not going to try to age you.
that's all right.
What year did you graduate high school?
59.
59. That is.
Now that's 1959, not 1859. Give me a break.
No, 1959. I mean, so when I think about that, I imagine like in high school for you is almost like American Graffiti.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, Bob Haley in the Comets,
Mhm.
the Tams, the Big Bopper,
Yeah.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
It's like Back to the Future.
Back when it all started.
Chuck Berry.
Back when it all started.
Yeah. Was that a little bit before Chuck Berry's time, or that was kind of Chuck
that
Berry's
was
time?
before Chuck. No, he came along. Well, Chuck Berry was between Bill Haley and the Comets and the Motown.
I get
There was a lot of beach music in there in those days by the Shirelles
Oh.
you and I could sit down over a beer and talk music probably. Not so much music theory, but just sounds and
Sure.
tunes and things that like
100%.
Dr. Hook and going through his stuff. And I like music, man.
I love it. Yeah, no, for sure. I'm a huge music fan. That's why I like to do this segment. Real quick before we hop off here, do you still have any of your old records? Do you keep any-
Carol and I had 4 boxes of records, and my nephew asked for them.
Oh.
So I gave them all to him about a year ago.
Oh, Uncle Dan hooked him up with a box of goodies.
Oh, he's got some good stuff, man. Edgar Winters and Tobacco Road.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got, 150 albums.
Yeah. Did you go to Woodstock?
No, but I tell you what, you'll appreciate this.
All right.
One of the first 3-day rock concerts was at the university there in St. Louis, and I went to it.
Really? Was
Yep.
that Super Jam or what was
No,
that called?
1969.
69. What was the name of that show? Do you remember? Or did it have a name?
I don't remember, but it was Buffy St. Marie, the band, and Ted Dillon was there, Janis Joplin, Strawberry Alarm Clock, Johnny Kay and Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf. Nice.
Uh,
I didn't even know Steppenwolf was around in 69.
oh,
I
yeah,
guess,
yeah.
Might have been the Mississippi River Fest.
And it was there on the campus. And they played till about 2 or 3 in the morning, and they wouldn't start back till noon the next day. It didn't go 24/7.
That is
And we went
absolutely
Friday
awesome.
night, and then came back and was Saturday. We didn't go Sunday.
Did you save your ticket stub?
No,
No.
no.
You're like, no. You're
Hey,
like,
in
no,
those
there's
days, you didn't think about that kind of stuff. You just went,
Right.
man, and had a ball. And,
Yeah, amen.
I mean, I didn't sit there saying, Ron Figures is going to ask me if I got this ticket 50 years.
Somebody might ask me. I don't know. Should I keep it? No, I get it. I'm one of those guys that I'm not going to say I'm a hoarder, but I don't know. I'm a purist. I tend to save everything for no reason.
You have a
Wrong with that,
Yeah.
My wife would come in and tell you that I'm a junker too. So,
That's my job. Yeah. Yeah, Jeff does like Steppenwolf. Speaking of which, Jeff Walker's a music guy too, man. He's right. We're both the exact same age, and we both have the same taste for the same music. All of his clips he uses, great music. Good job, Jeff. Love all of it. But all right. Well, Dan, Mr. Lucas, thank you so much for joining us. I am
Enjoy.
really looking forward to seeing you in Huntsville, and we're just gonna have a really great race. And try to reach out to at least 3 other friends. Think of 3 people, 3 other dragster pro mod guys that you could call up out of the bushes, out of the woods, and see if they'll come race with us. It'll be a good time.
Okay, and if anything I can do for you in the next few days or months or whatever, give me a call.
Yes, you know it, Dan. I appreciate you so much, sir. You have a good night. Enjoy your trip down there in Tampa. Be safe, stay dry, and we'll talk to you soon, man.
Okay, take care. Good night.
Sir. All right. Yeah, hopefully, DC. We're starting to build that list. I kind of like great podcasts as always. Thanks, Brianna. Yeah, I love the Thursday night podcast. Everybody jumping in here and doing comments and talking. I love having the guests. Good job, Nick Rabe. Sending love. Till next time. We'll see you in Huntsville. Awesome podcast. Thank you, Lindsay. Yeah, Dan has a great crew, man. I love the support. You ever notice how when we have guests on, it's like their crew's watching, all their friends and family, and everybody's jumping in, and it's just really cool, man. It's like we're all sitting around a remote living room, hanging out, talking. It's good stuff.
I bet it's possible, but boy, it's got to be like pulling teeth to have a successful race with a bad crew. It's almost like another part of the car that just isn't attached to the car itself.
It's funny when you say that. I think of a person. I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
But I do think of somebody that I feel bad with who tends to struggle with the crew sometimes. But apparently they get it all straightened out.
We may have been on the same page with that one. It took me a second to realize that. I had that one before I had my comment come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm careful here.
And that's enough. I mean, I think that it takes and what I respect about that, though, is the fact that since you're a music guy, you'll have to ask Dan about his unique story involving Hank Williams. Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, Hank Williams. Well, yeah, I will have to ask him that. You know what I appreciate about somebody that potentially is in that position or situation, exactly. You have to trust them with your life. Yeah. And that, okay, so to Jeff's point, and to Carol's point, you have to respect somebody that has this unwavering mission to make sure that they have the right crew, regardless of how long it takes them to find him. Because again, your life depends on it, and winning depends on it. And so, if you're just kind of working your way through, and it might take you a couple years and work through a handful of guys, and you land one, and you work through a handful of guys, and you land your second one, eventually you'll get the right crew, but you got to respect that. It's probably better to go about it that way and deal with a few seasons of messy crew to end up with somebody good.
Sometimes you put a new part on the car, and same type of an analogy. Sometimes you have to swap out a crew member because it's just not working with the combination of the other parts, whatever.
It's just like a band.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their role. Everybody's got their job. And then there has to be some cohesion within.
There's got to be a good fit, right? Exactly. It's not just, are you competent? It's, does your character match the team? Can we all work together? It's like, you might be really good at the bottom end of a motor, or the bottom end, whatever that is you're doing. But if you got a shitty attitude and no one can talk to you or whatever, I mean, you're probably not going to be on the team. Well, you know what? Maybe she's cooking for the crew. That would be cool.
Yeah, everybody, whatever the role is,
everyone has to gel together. That's right, Jeff. Just like a band, man. Like it's everybody's got to click. I've been in bands and have had just the greatest musicians ever. We'll have some guys come and audition. It's like, damn, that guy knocked my socks off. Like, he was really, really killer. And then you jam with them a few times and it's like, man, I'm just not feeling that guy. Like, he's, whether he's just emotionless and looks like Manny back there holding an instrument, the whole time. It's like, dude, I need some enthusiasm, some charisma,
connection.
some connection. Hey man, let's go out back and have a cigarette.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
just to feel like we're we're interacting either together or at least enjoying this experience together separately, whatever the case might be. Just be there.
That's right. Be there or be square, because we'll have no problem kicking your ass out of the band.
Yeah, James, you better keep that life insurance policy up and her happy. That's all I can say.
Right. Oh, Aiden's coming over, my older brother.
Oh,
Love that
nice.
guy. Yeah. Aid, if you're watching, love you, man. Hope to see you here in a little bit.
See you in a bit.
So let's just kind of do a recap. Mr. Lucas, again, thank you for joining in. Everybody watching, thanks for tuning in and watching from A to Z. We do want to thank again our sponsors so much. Again, Renegade, she's screwed. No
The car is her life insurance policy.
no life insurance, no savings, no nothing. It's all going to the dragster.
Yeah, the resale value of that car is kind of that. So it's it's beneficial to her to make sure it's in one good piece.
Yeah, that's true.
Leverage.
I mean, you better take care of them. You got to take care of them, because it's only going to affect you in the end. If
Exactly.
you don't. Oh boy, that's a good way of kind of creating that leverage, right?
It's called the spin zone.
The spin zone. It's very hungry.
I bet.
Oh, I bet it is. Yeah, no kidding. Again, thank you to our sponsors, Renegade Racing Fuel, Fuel Tech, and Chris Duncan Race Car. Don't have just a good day, have a Dayco day. That's right. That's right.
If you don't know what we're talking about, give Amanda Hoover and Chris Duncan a call. They'll set you straight.
Yeah, for sure. I have actually witnessed guys blowing belts off like crazy, putting on Daycos and not having any issues.
I mean, I've talked to racers, and we won't name any names, but I've heard this in a couple different pits to where they've had issues with the belt, so they switch over to another belt. But when they buy that belt, they have to buy like 50 of them. And then about 3 belts into that 50, they realize, well, this thing is junk. And
why would I want to keep blowing off 50 belts?
Right. But then, you're stuck with them. How are you going to offload them? You're going to sell 45 belts to somebody else and try to pan them off as, I love these and they're great.
Yeah, right. Here's 45. Why are you selling me 45 belts? I don't know. I'm switching over. How come? Because they don't work so great. I don't know.
It's a common problem I've seen in a lot of classes, a lot of cars. It's just one of those things that happens. But
yeah, and let me tell you something. Chris Duncan and Amanda Hoover, super smart. They've been at this for a long time. They know what they're talking about. They are reps for Dayco belts. So, if you're thinking about switching it up or you've had issues with your belts, please reach out to Amanda Hoover and Chris Duncan. See what they could do for you. We all race in the ADRL together, so I'm sure they would, do something. I'm not saying they're going to give you a discount, but what I am saying, they'll take good care of you. They've taken great care of us with nothing in return. Like when I started doing this, they were just a tremendous amount of help, kind of educating Adam and I just in general about all kinds of things, and didn't ask anything for the consulting. They were just there helping us, giving us feedback. And I'm really grateful for that, because they were like our
they played a pivotal part in a crucial time.
Yeah,
for the
100%.
ADRL.
Yeah, and they were willing. And I mean, look, they were willing to invite us out to the shop, take us out to eat. I mean, and even to this day, they have no problem at an event. If I don't make the right call, Amanda she'll tell me.
Amanda does not
like, hey, look,
know how she feels.
Yeah, look, you can't do that.
And I respect that.
She's like, you can't do that. And I'm like, okay, I got it. No big deal. She's like, you got to think about this. I'm like, all right, fair enough. So she's a mentor. She has been a mentor. And she's really good at what she does when it comes to racing. And reach out to Toby at Renegade Race Fuels. Great product, a great price, 100%. So
every one of our racers has to put fuel in their car to get down the track. And I know everybody's got their choices and selections on it, but if you haven't already, check out Renegade Racing Fuel for your car. And if you let them know that you are a racer with the ADRL, get a little bit of a kickback,
a little bit of a hookup. And they also have a program. If you win your class, they have a program where is Toby giving them fuel? I really hate that. I don't know for sure how that works, but if you use Renegade Racing Fuel, I'm just going to back up.
They
have some really good programs. I just, as not a racer, it's not resonated.
Right. They're making moves, and they're doing things that other other companies don't do in that field. I mean, some companies get a little bit too big and they get a little bit too out there, and they feel like they really don't have to offer anything back to their customers because they've established themselves as a giant within the industry and a go-to within the industry. And it's not that their product might not be good, but is it really any markedly better than anybody else that's going to offer you the better quality, same quality, better service, better price,
That's
involved
right.
in the racing, involved in the motorsports, deep.
Yeah, look, and if you need fuel at the race, and not to try to cut anything from the track, I don't know what the track owners do for fuel. It's different from
Everybody's
track
got
to
their
track,
own rules.
but Toby has no problem bringing some fuel. Usually he does bring fuel, and since he's at our races, he'll typically have some fuel with him. Or if you reach out to him ahead of time and say, "Hey, bring some fuel," he's been pretty good at bringing fuel for you
Get
guys.
there before James does, because he'll buy the whole lot in the first
That's
5 minutes.
right.
He did it in Montgomery, and
He
I
sure
did.
did, didn't he? He's like, "Nope, there is none. I bought it all."
And if you haven't smelt that Renegade fuel when it's burning down the track, whoo-wee.
I know, I love it.
Yeah.
Toby uses the grape. I don't know what the actual name for it is, but it's
I don't
grape
either, but it's
scented fuel.
amazing.
I want to get it. Can you just buy that shit? Can I get some fuel additive that's scented that put in my Cutlass?
James ain't lying. He is telling you right now.
There it is. That's right. 5 a.m. comes early. Oh, night.
Good night,
Okay.
Lindsay.
Good night, Lindsay.
Thanks for stopping in.
For sure. Toby will bring fuel, or the fuel will bring it. I didn't. Toby brought those two for me. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, if you get a hold of Toby, he'll work something out. Okay, yeah, Groovy Grape does feel right.
Groovy Grape. Okay, fair enough. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna buy some of that shit for the Cutlass. That'd be so cool.
I don't miss a pass when Toby goes down just to get a sweet hit off that.
Can you put that Groovy Grape in? Is it just alcohol, or can you use it as a fuel additive for any like a 93 octane
I'll
pump?
put it in my goddamn lawnmower.
Maybe it's an octane booster.
I'll be out there cutting
Put
grass.
it in the lawnmower. Put that shit in my weed eater.
Yeah,
I don't like it that much.
Bike, but I'll throw it in my lawnmower. I got an electric weed eater too, but the lawnmower, I'll throw that right in.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, I am excited. I can't wait. Yes, sir. How is my little buddy? Is he ready to get back at the racetrack? You know he is. That's all he asks about, Jeffrey. He's yeah.
You're almost lucky we don't have one real close to the house, or else you'd never see that boy.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to hit 2 more races before, probably 3 before we go to Huntsville. That's gonna be yours, Jeffrey, Flying H, and the there's another one that I had. There was 3 that I want to go to before October, but it's going to be a little tight. Either way. Oh, I think it's one of Donald Long's races.
Okay.
Yeah. So what is it? The No Mercy 15.
Yeah, it feels right.
September, at the end of September, which I think it's not on. I hope it's not the same weekend as the SmackDown. SmackDown.
The WWE weekly program.
Right.
That's
all you think about is Manny back there. But we do, again, want to thank our sponsors. Thank you so much. We are diligently working on some new sponsors to make our events even better for next year. I have some big stuff in the works, so we'll talk about that as I go along. I don't want to really say any names and jinx myself. However, we are working on that. Again, Rocket City Drags, Huntsville, Alabama, Rocket City Dragway, October 25th and 26th. Be there or be square. It's only fair not to share.
Good luck, Jeffrey. Not going to happen.
I got nothing. Maybe he will share his ice cream with me this time. Yeah, I doubt it, dude. I doubt it. That boy loves ice cream. Actually, you know what? He likes ice cream, but I love that he doesn't like shit food. Like, he's really good at eating good. Like, he'll eat a hamburger with no bun. He doesn't like hot dogs. He loves steak and broccoli, and he's just a little man. Got to get him in a dragster. Let's see what else. Other than that, I got nothing else. Prince Adam, this is a good podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we got only other thing I could think of would be, XRP right after Huntsville.
So, man, might as well start plugging that.
Yep. I mean, it's only 3 week difference between the two. So if for whatever reason you can't make it to Huntsville, I can't wrap my head around it, but if not, definitely make it out there to XRP, or one better. Why don't you just show up at both?
Yeah, come to both. Come to Huntsville and then come to XRP a few weeks later. in November at XRP. The weather's going to be good. It's going to be a great time of year.
Great time of year, great track.
We got some small tire guys, some radial guys coming to run on floppy tire, some slick tire prep. When will XRP tickets go on sale? That's a good question. So, we are, just to let everybody know, we're kind of contemplating whether or not to continue using the float because it kind of convolutes things. So we may only sell tickets at the gate.
It makes it a messy. It makes it more complicated.
Makes it more complicated
enough in a situation to where the admission or the ADRL are charging by the car parking as opposed to an individual. If it was an individual admission price that we were charging, it would make great sense, and we would immediately put it back up on the float for pre-sale of the tickets. But since it's a parking spot, and you can, like we say, motorcycle to a motor coach is all the same price. So
that's right.
Bring it in, bring as many people as you can fit in it, and you're all getting in for the same exact set price for the parking.
But that's a long-winded answer for when do tickets for XRP go on. They may not go on sale until the day of the event. So we'll keep everybody posted. XRP is going to be a good event. Super excited about it. So remember, Dragpalooza 2024 XRP, November 15th and 16th. Rocket City Drags, October 25th and 26th. Mark your calendars. Last 2 of the year. It's going to be a good time. And then we'll release our schedule probably here in the next month, preferably next week or two. But, I'm just being realistic. But we'll get that schedule out for everybody. Other than that, we appreciate I'll be driving up from San Antonio to get XRP. Awesome, man. Or whoa, man.
Nice day.
Can't judge.
Hello.
Can't judge by a tag anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta think of clan tags. Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Tag. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah, move on. Okay. So much. Appreciate you guys. Much love. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you guys either on Tuesday Night Podcast or next Thursday night on the ADRL Podcast. But I'm Dr. Fears.
I'm Prince Adam.
And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.